We're not down at the river today. Not down at the creek. We're up here messing with the langoliers, the petrified langolier. Oh, look at him. He's mean, ain't he? Here's another one. A langolier. Oh, his mouth. That's effigy, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding you. Anyway, you kind of take a look here. All kinds of goodies that I picked up. But really, that's not what we're here for. Oh, petrified turd. There's a piece of smashed horn coral. That's pretty cool. That's the reason why I pick stuff up. Is that if it's cool looking, we're picking this stuff up. It doesn't matter what it is. You can see all kinds of deer heads there and stuff I picked up. All kinds of geodes. Yep. But really, yeah, look at this nice mano. Another smaller one. They did make small ones, you know. And yeah, they did. Nutting stone. Anyway, there's some cones. Another cone. Another cone. That's kind of an odd looking cone, ain't it, guys? But anyhow, this is just stuff I pick up whenever I like to pick it up, you know. Heck, there's all kinds of stuff here, man. I mean, all kinds of goodies. And this isn't all I've got either. See, there's another cone laying back in here. They call a cone. Anyhow, that's not what we're here for. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about triangles and preforms. Okay, now, person would think this triangle is a preform. Now look at it close there. It's not the same on both sides. It's been resharpened. And when something's been resharpened, it's been in use. Because there's no sense of resharpening it if it hasn't been in use, you know. Okay, now then, we got this other little blade that I found the other day. It's not a little blade, it's a pretty good sized one. Okay, now then. Now's when we get to the stickler part of it. You can take a look at the flake pattern on this. See how this big old overshot goes almost all the way across that blade, right? Now we turn this one over. What we got here? We got the same kind of overshot flaking clear across the doggone blade, just like on this other one. Get it back in there again, but you can see what I'm talking about there. There it is. That big overshot. They're the same on both of these points. Now then, they weren't made by the same person. These two pieces weren't made by the same person. This one here I found approximately 8 miles away from this piece here. Okay? But they're the same overall dimensions, you know. If you put them up on top of each other, they're the same size. I mean, exactly the same size. Okay? The way that the back of it's made, see how it's kind of sloped downward? The same deal. It's got that same kind of look. Now then, this is a knife blade. They got a bone handle or a wooden handle that they stuck on the back side of the blade. We all know, you know, this is common sense and logic here we're talking with here. We're not just making up a story here. This is common sense. Now then, as they used that knife, they had to resharpen it, and it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Now notice how this triangle, she's really too wide to be used for any kind of an arrowhead. You'd shoot that out of a bow and it'd just bounce right off their hide. You know, there's the deal with your arrowheads and your knives. If they're too wide, you're not going to get any kind of penetration with the low-powered bows that they had back at that time. They didn't have no 80, 90-pound bows or even 50-pound bows. And if they was using the atlatl, there isn't much poundage there. It's actually the shaft of your arrow and the weight of it that's making the penetration on the animal. I know archery too. I bow hunt a lot. Yeah, I've got a lot of bow kills and yeah, etc. and so forth. I'm not speaking out of just off the top of my head. I'm speaking from experience here in archery and everything else. But these are knives. And like I said, this piece here, this triangle, was like this to start out with. So it is not a preform, okay? That's not a preform. This is not a preform, okay? I hope you guys are following along with this, because there's a lot of disinformation out here in the arrowhead community, and I mean there's a lot of it. From people calling sedalias, Nebo Hills and Nebo Hills sedalias and all that stuff. To me, what these people that argue these points like that are glory seekers, I guess you'd call it. They're trying to glorify themselves by being super smart. Well, they ain't that freaking smart, man. Like I said, the Indians didn't think about that kind of stuff. All they wanted to do was live and have a knife and a good arrowhead to kill game with. And that's the fact of the matter, you know. You get out in the Cahokia district out there, they mass-produced stuff like this. And they call them preforms because they was mass-produced. Where I live at, these Indians were singulars. They made their stuff and used it immediately. They didn't sit around with it in their bags and stuff like everybody's told. Oh, well, this is a cache because it's... Most of those caches were just replacement blades for their knives, you know. They weren't no preform. They took this dude and stuck it right in a wooden handle and used it, you know. Plain and simple. I mean, why make it so difficult by doing all this other naming and crap like that, you know? But that's what I had to show you. I hope you learned a little bit of something there. That's why I love these little triangles, man. And you notice that hump there that's on the end of that? Okay, if you look here, see how that blade's humped up there? Yeah, that's a fillet knife. But see, as it gets on back here, where they thinned that across the back end of this point is right here on this point right here, see? Right before that hump, they thinned that blade. So it would have, so you could put a handle on it, which this one did have a handle on it. And they just used it all the way back. You know, that thing was this long, like this dude here. But they've sharpened it and sharpened it and sharpened it, you know, and it's gotten back to where it's that small. Right there's your thinning strikes across the back of it. And there's that big old diamond-shaped hump down that blade. See that? There's your diamond shape there in it. See it? You can just barely see it. It's really great big, but this one's kind of off center just a little bit. This guy was a little crooked that night that he made that one, I guess. I don't know, doing some fire water or something there, but you can see the thinning strikes he's made through here. That's a flute actually on this blade here, because I'm telling you, this is probably a Clovis era type. Cobb's, early Cobb's. People don't realize Cobb's blades were transitional paleo, which were, and they also went into the archaic age. See, that's transitional. Whenever it went into the from the paleo to archaic age, that'd be transitional. But I'm here to tell you, if you see this in person, yep, that's definitely a flute running all the way down that blade. So this is actually a Clovis knife, and I hate to make statements like that, because telling somebody like that, they're wanting to see a Clovis that's all pretty and fluted, you know, and perfect from side to side. You don't always get that. I mean, seriously, the material sometimes won't let them make it like that, or, you know, anything that's like that. It's kind of like trial and error for an Indian to make that. Nothing's 100% carved in stone. But I did want to show you this thing about triangles, because really, not enough is being said about triangle points. Man, I'm here to tell you that I love triangle points. They're just as important to me as a Dalton is. If that don't shock you, then, you know, I don't care. That triangle's probably older than that Dalton. You know, it's just something to think about, guys, and people get just really wound up about point types and all this and all that, you know. And oh, it's not that. Oh my gosh, it's that dude. It can't be that. And then you got these people that's out here that will make a point not be worth that. Oh well, no, that's not that point, because that would be a couple thousand years. You can't have a point like that, you know. That's a couple thousand years older than what I think that you got. You know, it's a stupid argument. I mean, really, it is. It's a stupid argument. The only argument I have, actually, with arrowhead hunting and artifacts is moderns. I know that people like to make arrowheads, and I know that they like to make points. I've tried to chip on stuff. I could make one, you know, a matter of minutes if I wanted to. I don't, because I don't want to confuse modern points with old points. And see, that's what you get into. You know, I know there's people that like traditional archery and they make those points. I'm 100% for those people. But when you got somebody that's making a fake point, trying to sell it for old, they need to be clubbed in the freaking head. You're talking about something that, and they're not ever no cheap points either. These points that they're making like that are thousands of dollars, and to me, those people are worthless. They're scam artists, and yeah, that's just right exactly where that goes at. You know, I've got fishing. I can't say fishing because I really don't know what they was used for. I've got 3 hooks. 3 hook-shaped objects, okay? We'll put it that way. 3 hook-shaped objects. They could have been used for a gaff, a button, or anything. But they are hooks. And the first thing that would come out of somebody's mouth, wow, that's a stone fishing hook, which is the first thing that come out of my mouth when I've seen it, you know. But my gosh, you go to show it in a group on Facebook or something like that, oh, you are no good. You made that, and yeah, you did. And it's like, I've never made a freaking arrowhead in my life. And I've never ever tried to copy anything like that. And it's ridiculous. I mean, totally ridiculous. Yeah, I've got hooks, and they're made out of rocks. One was found in Texas. I found 2 here in Missouri. All of them legitimate finds out of the creek. Nothing that nobody made. I didn't pick them up at a antique shop or curio shop or anything like that. No, these are authentic. Anything that I have is authentic. No fakery done here, people. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out to everybody and take a little bit of the mystique out of it from somebody. I actually have been hunting, and I know you won't believe this, since I was 5 years old, man. We used to go to the lake every weekend, my mom and dad. And back then, it ain't like it is now that you're scared to let your kids do something without watching them. I had the run of anything I wanted to do. I could take off and walk any place I wanted to because everybody knew anybody at the camping areas because we went every weekend. And I used to find stuff laying on the dirt roads in the camping areas and everything else. I come from way back camping and arrowhead finding, I'm telling you. You wouldn't have believed I had a very, very good lifestyle when I was growing up, when I was a kid. My gas was cheap. My parents liked to go places. And yeah, this is how I ended up. But with all this stuff. I got tons of stuff. Anyway, and I've got a little bit of knowledge that I want to pass on to other people, you know, and this is a real crucial thing about arrowheading. People don't pay enough attention to triangles. I seen a fellow the other day that's actually a real good arrowhead finder, and he's got a lot of good techniques and good strategies on arrowheads. But he was naming triangles as the newest type of arrowhead. And he should have not have said that. He should have said Madison. See, that's a triangle point. Now a Matty is a small triangle. And yeah, they didn't come around until the woodland era. But I have an argument on that too. I've got a Clovis bird point. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of difference between that Clovis bird point and a regular Madison bird point. I've got Madisons too. And when you set them side by side and you see the flute running down the middle of that Clovis point and the intricate artwork that they did on that dude, there's no comparison. I mean, none. When you put them side by side with a regular Madison. So saying that Madison is one of the latest point types in the triangles moved to where they were a later on faction, that's a false statement because triangles have been here since the beginning. That's the basis. A triangle is the basis of any arrowhead. It has to be triangular to start with. So anyway, there you go, gang. That's all I had to say. Hope y'all have a good day. I was thinking about going hunting today, but by golly, I'm telling you what, I think we're going to get triple digits today, and I just don't really feel like croaking out there in the heat today. So I'm going to kind of stay around here. I need to go pay my electric bill and do a little running into town and stuff. So this is your video for Saturday, the 25th of June. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.